everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Gardener's Journey Homestead. I am Barbara. I am on location live at the Homestead Festival. I had put a note out on my YouTube a couple of days ago letting you guys know that I was going to be here and wanted to know if any of you guys are here, and I don't see you guys, but I know that a lot of you are not close or wasn't able to make it this year, but I thought I would do a video and just show you some of the things that you're missing, or by the time that you see this that you would have missed. And so this is like towards the end of the afternoon. I'm sitting down. I just got finished drinking me some lemonade because y'all, it is hot out here today. It is so hot. It is, I don't know what the temperature is. I think it's supposed to get up to like 85, but man, it is hot, and there are tons of people here. If I'm guessing, there's probably easily, I would say 2,000 people here. I don't know. I'm not good at that. Definitely 1,000 for sure. I would love to hear what the final numbers are. Somebody else said they thought it was like 5,000 people here. I don't feel like it's that many people here, but again, I'm not good at that. But it's full, definitely. I need to see if when I go back to one of the sessions, count the tables under, and see how many chairs are under the tents, and maybe that will give me an idea. But so far, I'm having a great time. And for me, for those that are brand new, the Homesteading Festival, I heard this is only the second year that it's happened. I thought this had been going on for years and years and years, but this is only the second year, and it's hosted by Rory Feek. And it just so happens that this festival is like literally 40 minutes from my house. It's in Columbia, Tennessee. So for those that are new, I am one of the blessed ones that it's that close to my house. So it was kind of like when I heard about it, I'm like, I debated on whether or not I would go. And then I'm like, you know what? It's 40 minutes from my house. Most things are not that close to me. So let me just buy a ticket and go. And I'm so glad that I did. I will definitely be here next year. And I've met people from all over. I met a lady who drove from New York, rural New York. I've met people from Ohio, Kentucky, lots of people from Tennessee that may be like 3 or 4 hours away. I'm trying to think what other states. Arkansas. So people like got in their car and drove to this. And I don't know that I would have driven from New York, but maybe if I did this as a full-time business, maybe. And then maybe if I was able to attend both days. It's Friday and Saturday. I'm only able to be here just this one day. So the fact that it was like literally that close to me, like from my door to here was like 39 minutes. So you can't really beat that. I mean, you can't beat that at all. So that's why I did it. Would I drive a couple hours? I would definitely drive if I was going to be here for 2 days fully, and all of that. So I've been to some amazing sessions. I will try to do a recap of the sessions that I have been to. And then also there are tons of vendors here. Tons. I have you can't see it, but I got a backpack full of stuff that I have bought. But I'm having to restrain myself because of all the goodies that are here. But man, the 4 jars, if you guys know that I started using those cannon lids, 4 jars, I did it twice, and so far I really like them. Now I still like ball too, I'm not giving away my ball, but I do like the 4 jars lids. They're here, and I got a chance to talk to them, and they are coming out with jars, and they said like in the next couple of months. I've also been able to meet some of my favorite homesteaders that I follow on YouTube and Instagram, so that has been good. So I'm going to insert some footage and show you guys a couple more things.
will end with Paul Overstreet and his band, which will be a lot of fun. We also have music over in the food area.
Okay, y'all, so obviously I'm back at home in my tunnel. I had to come down here and water because it's been really hot today, as I told you at the homesteading festival. But I wanted to wrap up this video and just share my thoughts about the homesteading festival, and I figured I could do it better here because it was just very, very noisy. So hopefully I cut out enough of the noise so that you could hear what I had to say. But I want to say overall, the homesteading festival was absolutely great. I would go back again next year, and will go back again next year. Again, it's 39 minutes from my house, from my front door. So it just doesn't even make sense for me not to go. Also, the price was relatively inexpensive. I thought it was $140, which I didn't think was bad, especially for a 2-day event. So I like that. And then also for those that came this year, they gave us the dates for next year, and they gave us early bird pricing, so we could actually buy a ticket for $79, which is like half price. I mean, like, who wouldn't, right? So that was also a plus. And you know, sometimes you need to be in the room, right? You need to be where the people are. So here are some highlights from my trip. One, I got a chance to meet in person and see in person some people that I follow on Instagram and people that I follow on YouTube. So that was a huge plus for me because, again, because I've only been gardening for a very short amount of time, these people, one in particular, like, has really helped me on my journey. Like, she was the first one that I listened to, found on YouTube, and I've been following her ever since. And she has done a lot for my garden confidence. She has done a lot of showing me tips and tricks, and just, again, learning as I go. And I hope that I am that same inspiration for some of you. And so I don't take that lightly because, again, I'm sure there's days when she didn't want to shoot content. I'm sure there's days that she didn't want to get behind the camera, but the fact that she showed up has helped me tremendously as a gardener. And so it was a joy and a pleasure to meet her in person, to hug her neck, to take a picture with her, and get her to sign my book. And so that's Jill Reagan over at Whispering Willow Farm. If you don't follow Jill, she's a great one to follow. She's on YouTube and on Instagram. So that was like the highlight of my entire, because I really, really wanted to meet her. I also got a chance to see Jess from Roots and Refuge. If you follow Jess, she was there. I did not get a chance to talk to her. She had a long line waiting to talk to her. I did get some pictures. I'll try to insert some here. I did get a picture. It wasn't her and I, but I did get a picture of her, so you can, I mean, proof of life. She was there. And she had a long line of people to talk to her. I got a chance to see some real, like, baby chicks in person. That was neat. That was cool. So one highlight was I got a chance to see people in real life that I follow. Another highlight was they had demonstrations. And so they had demonstrations of tons of stuff. And so there's another person that I follow on Instagram that has a broad fork that I've been eyeing. That's on my list to get. But to be able to see it in person, put my hands on it, and then actually use it, that was a game changer. And I would have bought it today, but the only thing about the festival, if I had to say a downside, and I don't want to call it a downside, is that it was hard to buy a lot of stuff because you only had 2 hands. And to hike it all the way to your car, like, if I was going to my car, I wasn't coming back. Like, it was a haul to walk to your car and back. Like, it wasn't easy. And a broad fork is pretty, pretty big. And so you don't want to lug that around the whole festival. So I had a backpack. So I bought a lot of stuff, but I bought stuff that could fit in my backpack, right? And then I think I had a backpack and then one hand with some something in it. But other than that, like, there were bags of some amendments that I wanted to buy. They had some azomite. They had worm castings, and they had it in the big bag at really, really, really good prices. But me trying to carry a 40 to 50 pound bag for a good price, it just wasn't convenient. Again, because of the parking and being so far away, and it's laid out really, really big and nice. So that was a bummer. But again, had my husband been there, or just another situation, I needed like a wagon or something, then I could have bought it and could have, gotten some good prices and would have avoided shipping. So the demonstrations was good. I also saw a demonstration on how to propagate lavender. And so, matter of fact, let me show you that right here. I'm ready.
So you're going to take a cutting kind of from the bottom. You want to kind of get like part of the woody area where it's a little bit harder, and then you're going to just strip those bottom leaves off. You kind of want to scratch up the skin of the stalk a little bit too. And then I dip it in water. Sometimes I'll have fertilizer water. I didn't bring the fertilizer today. And then in this rooting hormone, this is the rooting hormone right here. And then you just push it down in your soil. 2 tips on lavender. One is try not to let your soil get too wet. You can spray the leaves, but it doesn't like wet feet. It doesn't like its roots to be real wet. So what I do to prevent that when I plant them out in the ground is I mound it like this. See how it's just kind of sticking up?
So you're wetting this part and then...
Yeah, I'm kind of going around there, and then if the roots get wet, it at least drains off.
Got it. Okay. So is that not cool, y'all? So she did a lot of demonstrations, you can see. And how cool and how easy is that? And then off camera, her and I talked about lavender, ways that you could use it. It was just her and I. That was like at the top of the morning before it got really, really busy. The doors opened at like 7 a.m., which was perfect, which was good. And so I was there around 7:30ish, and the opening ceremony was until 8:30. So in that first hour, I had a lot of time, and it wasn't as crowded, which was a plus. They say early bird gets the worm. That is true. So the demonstrations were good. I got a chance to put my hands on some actual products. I got a chance to see some other demonstrations. Also, one of the amendments that I use, which is the Ultra, which is by a company called AgriGrow. They were there, so I got a chance to talk to him and get my questions answered face to face. And I spent probably 15 minutes talking to him. So y'all, just that alone, if I just stopped right there, that was worth my $140 right there. At least for me, it was. Because sometimes when you have questions, you want to talk to the source. And I try to be respectful of people. Like, even though I follow people like Instagram and YouTube, every now and then I might ask a question, but I'm not going to be in their box every day asking a question, right? Because I want to be respectful, because I'm not the only one following them. They have thousands of people following them, right? And so to be able to meet these people in person, get all that, was truly a delight. So that was another highlight. So 1 was I got a chance to see people in person. 2, the demonstrations. And then 3, if I had to come up with a third thing, but they had, of course, several vendors there, but they also had seminars. They had 4 tents, A, B, C, and D, that had different lectures going in at the same time. So some of the lectures I went to, I went to one about how to grow your business. I went to one about the urgency to grow food and why you need to grow more food over the next 12 months. That was really interesting. And then I also went to one, it was a couple called Grass Grazed. You can look them up on Instagram, but they had a really nice, compelling story that they were a military family, and literally, I think the name of their talk was From Combat Boots to Muck Boots. Their story was really, really powerful, and that was a good one, just to kind of see how literally they started 2019, and they literally had no knowledge, no nothing. They were living in suburbia city, and then literally within 3 to 4 years, they have land and they have hundreds and hundreds of chickens and pigs and all that stuff. And so the moral of that was just, it's possible, right? And so I think about my own story, that I never put my hands in dirt, literally. And this is my first time gardening. And in 3 years, I have learned something, and I'm still learning. That's why I say this is a journey. So I could go on and on, but overall, it was a fantastic experience. I would encourage you, and I'll leave the link down here. If you're interested, pay attention to the website. I think they'll start putting tickets on sale for general admission. I have to go back and look at the app, but I want to say, I think I saw like September, August, something like that for next year. I don't remember. But just, take a look at the website. And this was only the second year that they had done it, which I thought for the amount of people that was there, and it really was a well-oiled machine. Logistically, there were no issues. I was really surprised that this was only their second year. I talked to several people, and in the first year, which was last year, they said that it was more people than they originally anticipated. And so the food vendors ran out of food. You had to wait long lines to get into the bathroom. Like, it was not logistically a breeze. And so the fact that they recovered very nicely and quickly, like, I didn't have to wait for the bathroom ever. There were probably like 25 food vendors of all different kinds of options. You could find whatever you wanted to eat. So that was good. And then they had a big, nice tent with, I mean, plenty of tables to sit down and eat. Like, I didn't struggle to find a seat, like any of that. And so it was very nice, well, and put together. And then the fourth thing, highlight, is just meeting new people. At lunch, I sat beside a lady. Like I said, people came from all over. This particular lady, I think, came from Ohio. And we just had a good time just getting to know each other, hearing her story, hearing her journey, and just sharing back and forth. And then I met several other people, too many to name, that was just, you know, when I say people that's not necessarily on Instagram or YouTube, but then I also met people that were on Instagram or YouTube that I had never heard of. So that was good. So, you know, kind of broadening, you know, your network. And so I would say if you have the ability to come next year, definitely put that on your list. And maybe it's not this one. Maybe there's one that's closer to you, or maybe there's one that's, you know, in your area. My point is that don't hesitate to get out and experience some of these things to learn. And again, I'm a firm believer that you have to invest in the things that you want to be better at. And so even though this is not my full-time job, I'm still willing to invest in it. Why? Because I invest my time and energy in it. And so if I'm going to do it, I want to do it well, and I want to do it efficiently. And so I'm willing to invest my time, my money, and my energy to be the best gardener that I can be, even though this is not my full-time job, right? And so that's the mindset that I have about anything that I do. I love to learn. I love to research. And again, if I'm going to do something, let me be good at it. Otherwise, why am I doing it, right? So I encourage you to have that same mindset. But overall, the Homesteading Festival was fantastic. It was great. Hope you enjoyed some of the footage. Remember, this is a journey. Let's grow together. See you next time, friend.